So who is Max? Well, he's Dr. Max. He's Doctor of Biochemistry.
Yes, that's right.
And you've been here at QVC for a number of years now. And we really trust you to look after our health, particularly those of us who are over 50, because that's where you've focused your research and your development. And there's been lots of both of those to develop this range called Prime 50. So what we have for you now is a big deal. So we've got an amazing price, but it is for a limited time. So take advantage of it now. I did yesterday. I bought 4, which meant that I saved almost £6 on post and packing. And if you know you're going to take these supplements, and if you've tried Prime 50 before, you'll have felt the difference that they can bring to your life. Well, I think it's worth multi-buying here. Now, Max, let's talk very briefly about Prime 50, but more specifically, obviously, about why you've put these 3 together. Prime 50 generally targets one thing, and here you've got 3 different boxes. It's not a choice. We get all 3 of them, a month's supply in each one.
Yeah, that's right. I've always believed in targeted supplements because you can make them very efficacious. You can focus on exactly the area. But over a year ago, somebody said to me, Max, just on the quiet, what other products do you take apart from your own Prime 50 products? And I said, well, my exact words were, I actually take a probiotic and I take an omega-3. Why aren't you selling it? And I sort of thought, and I thought, actually, I should be selling those, but I didn't want to sell them as separate items. I wanted to sell them as a kind of total product, because I know that we're not only lacking many micronutrients, which we'll talk about in a second, but also we're lacking omega-3. None of us eat enough fish, oily fish, and also a lot of us suffer from gut problems. And all of us now want to look after our immunity, Kathy, for obvious reasons.
Well, of course we do. And these things become harder to do as we get older. And that's why you have specifically, you've developed Prime 50 to target the people who are struggling the most to actually get the nutrients and the micronutrients that they need.
That's right. I mean, I was horrified a few years ago when I started to do the research. I looked at all the Public Health England statistics in terms of what people are actually eating. So forget what we should eat. That's fine. That's theoretical. I'm a practitioner. I only believe data. So what are we actually eating? So I went right back to square one. And you'll see in this graph, it's really quite frightening. This is actually the percentage of people not getting the RDA, the recommended daily allowance.
And that's a minimum level, isn't it?
It is really, yes, for health.
Look at this is scary. Vitamin D, 80% of people this is in the UK,
absolutely,
are not getting what they need. Likewise with vitamin E, vitamins. I mean, there's nothing.
And they're the minerals.
50%.
That's
so
right.
So half the population are lacking in almost every essential mineral and nutrient.
That's the data,
That's
Kathy.
Incredible.
And some of those...
That is scary.
It is a bit scary. I mean, I was horrified. I presented about 2 years ago at the annual GP conference, and I presented this data. They nearly fell off their chairs, and I said, guys, you should know about this, because this is all about prevention of ailments.
Why is it important to make sure we do have those recommended daily allowances?
Yes, well, the RDAs were set many years ago, and a lot will argue that even the RDAs are a little bit low, but that's a separate discussion. And they were there to try and protect us so that we could actually understand how much we needed in food. But nobody is going to look at the back of food labels in great detail and look at every single vitamin.
I bet you do.
I do, yes, I know. I'm a bit geeky when it comes to that. But so, practically speaking, I know that most of us are deficient in many of these key micronutrients.
And if you are deficient, ultimately, that is... Initially, it will just affect your quality of life, but eventually, if it is affecting your immunity and the functioning of your vital organs, it is going to affect you in terms of your real health. And so, you've got here the omega-3s, we talked about those briefly, and we will come back to them. You've also got the gut and immunity, which is something that a lot of people perhaps haven't tried. But you've got a multi-nutrient, and that, for many people, will be the first place they start. And what you're creating here with this collection of 3 is a safety net, if you like, a baseline of health. And then if you have got dodgy joints or you're worried about your bones, obviously we can come back to Prime 50 and target with extra supplements. But this is really going to be pretty much a fix-it-all for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, I get hundreds of emails on a regular basis, and they say, look, just tell me, I just want something to look after everything.
Yes, I don't have any special issues, but I need to look after, I want to be responsible for my health. This is the one where you would start, isn't it?
This is the first product in the UK to look after every single health area. I mean, it is a beautiful product. So this is the first product, the multi-nutrient product. This is a 32 ingredient, not 10 or 12, 32
32
ingredients. It consists of a bunch of vitamins, which I've carefully selected, a bunch of minerals, but also some of the very interesting sort of ingredients that are being looked at in the US in anti-aging laboratories all over the place, things like alpha-lipoic acid and resveratrol. But if you look at the first slide here, I mean,
resveratrol, that's the thing in red wine,
that's
isn't
right,
it?
yes. There's a tremendous amount
and you
of research.
actually need to drink gallons of red wine every day
to
get enough. And that would probably do some more damage.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Brilliant that you've put that in it.
Yes, and a lot more, Kathy. I mean, if you look at the multinutrient, you know, we're looking after heart health with some of those B vitamins, folic acid, chromium for sugar management, and iron to help make new red blood cells. We're also protecting cells with some of the antioxidant vitamins like vitamin E and C, but also the minerals zinc and selenium, because a lot of our cells are attacked by oxidation. And that's bad, so we have to protect ourselves. There are also materials in here to look after brain health, to look after vision, vitamin A and riboflavin. We've actually added lutein, which a lot of the people who look after their vision would really want to see in a formulation.
I'm loving this because coenzyme Q10 is something that I've bought separately.
Yeah.
But when I look at what I want to target, I end up with a whole million of tablets.
Yes.
This is one tablet, and actually look at the size of it. I can't believe you've managed to get it that small and that swallowable.
It's taken
with
a long time.
all of that in it.
Yeah,
and one a day is all you need.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful little tablet. It's coated in a lovely little turquoise colour, which is a natural colour, spirulina. And it's taken a long time to get those tablets so small and dinky. But we've even got absorption agents in here. We've got a patented material called bioperin. It's a black pepper extract, Kathy, and it actually helps the aging gut absorb the micronutrients, because we don't absorb micronutrients
well, I've heard you talk about that before, because in fact you use that in all of your supplements,
That's right,
don't you?
yes.
And again, it really helps. You know, this Multivit would be good for anybody, but again, you've targeted it really for the older population, the plus 50, the 50 pluses. Because as we get older, we lose the ability to absorb all the nutrients in our diet. So you can eat the best diet in the world, but you possibly still wouldn't get what you need from it.
Well, a lot of the over 50s will be on medication. And, you know, I've formulated all these products to be safe with meds. It's always best to check with the GP, of course. But I've chosen only ingredients that don't interact with medications. And I know that the vast majority of us over 50s and 60s and 70s and beyond we'll be taking a bunch of meds, many of which will actually prevent the absorption of vitamins.
Oh, really?
Especially things like B12.
Yes.
Which, you know, a lot of antacid medicines stop B12 being absorbed. Now, you're going to be tired.
I'm going to have to move you on, Max. At £19.98, brilliant price. In actual fact, to pay that just for the multi-nutrient would be a brilliant price. But you're getting the omega-3s. You're also getting the gut and immunity. Now, you mentioned immunity earlier. So many of us are aware that immunity, if we can boost our immunity, and we can do that by, you know, sleeping well, perhaps getting gentle exercise every day, but also with our diet, then we perhaps are going to sail through the next few months rather more easily than some people will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I believe this is the first, I like to call it a microbiotic, not a probiotic. This is a microbiotic because it's all to do with the microbiome, which are basically the bugs in our system. And I'll start by saying we're actually more bacteria than we are human.
Really?
Yeah, we have about 10 trillion human cells. We have over 100 trillion bacteria.
That'd be quite a good insult to throw at somebody, wouldn't it?
But it's true. That's the extraordinary thing about it.
Yeah.
And the thing about our gut bugs is that as we get a bit older, the balance between the good bugs and the bad bugs goes in favour of the bad bugs. You have too many bad bugs starting to cause gut problems, and also that can interfere with your immunity as well.
Yes, of course. And it's quite common. A lot of people have discomfort, in a number of different ways.
Yes.
So the gut and immunity, that again is a simple capsule, and you're introducing all these healthy bacteria into your gut.
Absolutely.
How does that help in terms of the immunity? And is there anything else you've done to help with that?
Yes, I mean, about 70% of our total immune system is actually in the gut. Right. So we have to make sure that we look after the gut. And as we get a bit older, we suffer from what's called immunosenescence. That's where the immune system starts to become less effective. So keeping the gut healthy is really, really important. And we have 14 strains of gut bacteria in here, not one or two like a lot of products. And those 14 have been very carefully chosen, Kathy, to be the best bugs you can get. These are bugs which exist in our tummies, but what we're trying to do is to rebalance the gut so that we are healthier.
You've also got you've got vitamin D, and that's actually, there's a lot of talk at the moment, isn't there, about upping our vitamin D levels.
Yes.
As we saw there, almost 90% or 80-90% people are deficient in it, and we know that that is very important for our
Very. We have all the immunity vitamins in here. A lot of people talk about vitamin C. That's only one of a number. So we have the vitamin D, the C, we have selenium, we have a whole bunch of very, very important immunity vitamins in here.
We could spend the entire morning show talking about this. There's so much more to say, but I think, Max, the most important thing is that we have come to trust you with our supplements and Prime 50 with our supplements. Absolutely give this one a go. Unbelievably, you've actually got a 60-day money-back guarantee. You've got a 30-day supply of each of these. If you're like me, you will order more than one of these because you know that you want to take responsibility and look after your own health as much as you can. I don't know if you're back later on today, but I know you're back in the morning show tomorrow as well. And so maybe you'll want to address the omega-3s tomorrow, because I haven't let you talk about that. But
That's
Max,
fine.
as always, thank you very much, and we'll see you later today as well.
Thank you.